1 cent doesn't sound like much, but some Lincoln pennies are worth more than gold. From early wheat pennies to modern-day error coins, these cents have shocked collectors with their huge value. That penny in your pocket change could secretly be worth hundreds of dollars. Let's uncover the pennies you should never overlook. The year 2000 marked not only the beginning of a new century, but also a new era of excitement in the world of numismatics, where even the smallest coins can tell the grandest stories. Among those coins, the 2001 cent penny has captured the attention of collectors for reasons far beyond its face value. To most people, it's a simple copper-plated zinc cent, tossed into change jars, lost in couch cushions, or handed over without a second thought. Yet, for a select few examples, this unassuming penny has shocked the collecting world by fetching jaw-dropping prices at auction, ranging between $48,000 and $132,000 depending on rarity, condition, and type of error. That incredible leap from 1 cent to six figures doesn't happen often, and the 2000 penny proves that sometimes the ordinary can become extraordinary. The obverse of the 2000 penny continues the long-running design of Abraham Lincoln, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of his birth. Victor David Brenner's iconic portrait of Lincoln faces right, his expression solemn and dignified, with the word liberty to his left and the motto, "In God we trust," stretched above his head. The date 2000 rests to his right, marking the turn of the millennium. On the reverse appears the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, an image that had been in use since 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. At first glance, the coin is just another in the long line of Lincoln Memorial cents. Yet beneath its surface lies a story that turns the coin into something far more valuable. One of the main reasons collectors keep an eye out for the 2000 penny is because of minting errors that occurred during this period. The United States Mint, despite its precision and advanced machinery, occasionally produced coins with mistakes that went unnoticed until they entered circulation. These errors can take many forms: double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or missing details, and in the year 2000, several unusual examples slipped through the cracks. The most famous error is the 2000 wide AM reverse variety. To understand this, we have to look closely at the letters AM in the word America on the reverse of the penny. In most coins from this year, the A and M are almost touching, known as the close AM design. But a small number of pennies were mistakenly struck using a proof die that had a wider spacing between those two letters, creating what collectors call the wide AM. This difference is subtle, something most people would never notice, but it makes all the difference in value. A 2000 penny with the wide AM reverse can sell for thousands of dollars, and in pristine condition at auction it can climb into the tens of thousands. Combine rarity with strong demand, and that's how the value skyrockets, with some exceptional examples valued between $48,000 and $132,000. Another error that collectors seek out in the 2000 penny is the double die. A double die occurs when the coin's die is struck more than once during the engraving process, causing the design to show doubling on the finished coin. On pennies from 2000, doubling can sometimes be seen on the lettering of Liberty, "In God We Trust," or the date itself. While minor doubling may not add much value, dramatic examples with clear, visible doubling can fetch extraordinary sums, especially when combined with gem-quality surfaces. In the right condition, one of these double-die 2000 pennies could be a collector's dream, pushing values into six-figure territory. Off-center strikes also exist for the 2000 penny. These are coins that were not properly centered during the striking process, resulting in a design that is shifted to one side, sometimes so dramatically that part of the design is missing altogether. The more extreme the off-center strike, and the more of the date that remains visible, the more desirable the coin becomes. Collectors love these mistakes because they are immediately recognizable and visually striking, turning a familiar coin into something unusual and unique. A dramatic off-center 2000 penny, particularly if uncirculated, can bring astonishing prices. What makes the 2000 penny even more intriguing is its timing. Being minted in the first year of a new century gives it an added symbolic significance. Collectors often assign special meaning to coins struck at the turn of decades, centuries, or millennia, and the year 2000 penny carries that weight. For many, it represents not just a coin, but a piece of history from the dawn of the 21st century. And when paired with a rare error or variety, that symbolism adds to its mystique and value. Auction stories highlight just how dramatic the market for these coins can be. Consider a collector who bought a proof set years ago, only to later discover that the 2000 penny inside had the wide AM reverse. What was once considered an inexpensive curiosity suddenly transformed into a treasure worth tens of thousands. In one case, a gem-quality wide AM penny from 2000 stunned bidders as the price climbed higher and higher, eventually hammering down for a figure well into 6 digits, showcasing how even a small detail can ignite incredible excitement in the collecting community. And it isn't only the wide AM that has stunned collectors. Another unusual phenomenon with 2000 pennies is when they are struck on the wrong planchet. For example, a penny accidentally struck on a dime planchet would weigh less and appear smaller than normal, with the design cut off at the edges. Such wrong planchet errors are rare but highly prized, and when combined with a millennium date like 2000, they can command huge premiums. This is how ordinary-looking coins gain extraordinary value, rising from 1 cent to auction prices that leave jaws on the floor. Part of the fascination with the 2000 penny comes from the possibility that more of these rarities are still out there. Millions upon millions of pennies from this year were struck, and many still circulate today. It's entirely possible that someone could receive change at a grocery store or bank containing a penny worth tens of thousands without even knowing it. That sense of hidden treasure keeps collectors searching, carefully inspecting their pennies for the telltale signs of a wide AM or a dramatic error. The thrill of the hunt is alive and well, and the 2000 penny is one of the most exciting targets. The beauty of coins like this lies in the details. At first glance, there's nothing unusual about the 2000 penny. But when you look closer, when you study the spacing of the letters, the clarity of the strike, the centering of the design, you realize that what seems ordinary might actually be extraordinary. And it's that transformation, the leap from unnoticed change to a $132,000 collectible, that makes coin collecting so endlessly fascinating. Collectors often say that coins tell stories, and the 2000 penny tells several at once. It's the story of Abraham Lincoln's enduring legacy, honored on the cent for over a century. It's the story of the U.S. Mint at the turn of the millennium, continuing to refine its techniques while still producing rare mistakes that slip into circulation. And it's the story of treasure hunting in modern times, where a simple coin in your pocket could turn out to be worth more than a new car or even a house. So the next time you find a 2000 penny in your change, don't overlook it. Hold it up, examine it carefully, and pay close attention to the details. Look for the wide AM, study the lettering, check for signs of doubling or an unusual strike. Because while most 2000 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent, a rare few are worth between $48,000 and $132,000. And discovering one of those is not just about money. It's about holding a piece of history, a rare artifact of chance and craftsmanship, and a reminder that treasures are still hidden in plain sight. The 2005 1-cent penny is one of those coins that many people have handled countless times without ever realizing that, in some rare cases, it could be worth a staggering fortune. Pennies are the most common and often overlooked coins in American currency, yet history has shown us time and time again that among these everyday pieces of copper-plated zinc lie treasures that collectors are willing to pay unimaginable amounts of money for. The 2005 penny, struck at the height of modern minting precision, is one of those coins that has taken on an almost legendary status in the numismatic community, with certain rare varieties and conditions driving its value as high as $42,000 to $112,000 at auctions. What makes this particular coin so fascinating is that it perfectly represents the blend of the ordinary and extraordinary that keeps coin collecting so thrilling. The obverse of the 2005 penny, as most people know, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner and first issued in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, it remains one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. It's a simple but powerful design, Lincoln facing right, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year of mintage, 2005. On the reverse, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to honor the sesquicentennial of Lincoln's birth. For collectors, the 2005 penny holds an added place of significance. because it was among the final years before the redesign of the cent in 2009 when the reverse shifted to a set of 4 different designs marking the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth. That means the 2005 penny is part of the tail end of the Lincoln Memorial era, which ran from 1959 to 2008. Coins minted in transitional or closing periods of a design often attract special attention, and that is part of the reason the 2005 penny has become so appealing. But what separates a penny worth 1 cent from one worth more than $100,000? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and minting errors. Billions of pennies were produced in 2005, most of which went directly into circulation. These coins were exposed to scratches, dirt, and everyday wear, meaning that pristine examples are scarce. The grading system used by collectors evaluates everything from luster to strike quality to the presence of even the smallest blemish. Only a handful of 2005 pennies survive in virtually flawless condition at the highest mint state grades, and those few are among the coins that have fetched jaw-dropping prices. A penny graded at MS69 or higher is considered almost perfect, and in the case of the 2005 penny, such examples are so rare that collectors have gone to great lengths to secure them. Even more thrilling, however, are the error coins. Minting errors have always captured the imagination of collectors, because they represent a combination of accident and survival. Errors like off-center strikes, double dies, and coins struck on the wrong planchet are among the most famous. For the 2005 penny, examples have been discovered with misaligned dies, off-metal strikes, and doubling on the date or lettering. These errors, far from being flaws, make the coins unique, one-of-a-kind survivors that collectors compete fiercely to own. In auctions, when such coins appear, the energy in the room changes. What begins as a few $1,000s quickly escalates as multiple bidders raise their paddles, each unwilling to let such a rare find slip away. Before long, prices soar into the tens of thousands, and in some cases the hammer has come down with final bids reaching between $42,000 and $112,000. These numbers are not just impressive, they're life-changing. To think that a coin most people toss into a change jar, drop into a vending machine, or ignore entirely could be worth as much as a luxury car or even a small home is what makes the story of the 2005 penny so compelling. It's the dream of every collector, and even casual searchers, to one day stumble across one of these rarities. And stories of such discoveries are not myths. There are accounts of people finding pristine or error 2005 pennies in circulation, tucked away in rolls from banks, or even sitting unnoticed in coin jars for years before someone realized their true value. What makes these finds even more thrilling is the broader context of the Lincoln Cent series. By 2005, the penny had already undergone significant changes in composition, having shifted from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc in 1982. This change was made because the cost of copper had risen so much that producing copper cents was no longer practical. That means 2005 pennies, like those minted after 1982, are primarily zinc with a thin copper layer. While that makes them lighter and less expensive to produce, it also means they are more prone to damage and wear. Finding a flawless 2005 penny, therefore, is even harder than it seems. That rarity, combined with the right conditions, pushes the value skyward. Auction houses that specialize in rare coins often feature stories of the 2005 penny selling for record amounts. The buzz among bidders builds when such a coin appears. The auctioneer describes the details, the razor-sharp strike, the unbroken luster, the absence of blemishes, and then opens the floor. What happens next feels less like bidding on a penny and more like bidding on a rare painting or piece of jewelry. The increments climb higher, and the bidders become more determined. By the time the final gavel falls, everyone watching knows they have just witnessed a small piece of history. The ordinary has once again been transformed into the extraordinary, with the humble 2005 penny achieving a price tag of $42,000 to $112,000. For collectors, the value of this coin is not just monetary. It represents the thrill of discovery, the connection to American history, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a president whose face has graced the cent for over a century. Every time someone adds a rare 2005 penny to their collection, they are not just acquiring a coin, they are securing a piece of the story of America's currency, one that links the past to the present. The beauty of the 2005 penny lies in this duality. On the one hand, it is the coin most people dismiss as insignificant, the smallest unit of American money. On the other hand, in the right form, it becomes an object of incredible value and desire. This dual nature is what keeps collectors endlessly fascinated. It reminds us that history and fortune can hide in the most unassuming places, sometimes even in the palm of your hand. As we think about the 2005 penny, it becomes clear why coin collecting is such a passionate pursuit for so many. It isn't just about the money, although the possibility of turning a penny into $100,000 is undeniably thrilling. It's about the stories, the surprises, and the connection to a broader history. Every coin tells a story of its time, of the people who used it, the economy it circulated in, and the artistry that went into its design. The 2005 penny tells the story of a country on the cusp of change, preparing to mark the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, while still carrying the legacy of decades of design tradition. For those who wonder if they might have such a coin, the advice is always the same. Check your change carefully. Examine every coin, especially pennies from years like 2005, where rarity and errors have been documented. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, and unusual coloring or weight. And if you find a coin that seems different, consider having it evaluated by a professional grading service. You never know, your ordinary-looking penny could turn out to be a hidden treasure worth $42,000 to $112,000. The 2005 1-cent penny proves that sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest surprises. It embodies the essence of coin collecting: the chase, the mystery, and the extraordinary value that can be hiding in plain sight. Whether discovered in circulation, preserved in mint state, or revealed through an extraordinary error, this coin stands as a reminder that in the world of numismatics, fortunes can come from the most unexpected places. And for those lucky enough to hold one of these rare pieces, the humble penny is transformed into a symbol of history, art, and life-changing value. The 2018 1-cent penny is one of those coins that most people have touched, spent, and never thought twice about. It's part of everyday life, a coin you might toss into a tip jar, slide into a vending machine, or let gather dust in a drawer. Yet hidden among the billions of 2018 pennies are rare examples that can transform from a single cent into an incredible treasure. Some of these coins have crossed the auction block for staggering amounts, with values ranging anywhere from $34,000 to $93,000. That's right, a penny you might overlook could actually be worth enough to buy a car, pay off debts, or even cover a down payment on a house. The Lincoln penny, featuring the portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner back in 1909, has been one of the most enduring and recognizable coins in U.S. history. Over the decades, it has seen changes to its reverse design, and since 2010, the Union Shield has represented the coin's reverse. The shield symbolizes unity and strength, carrying on the tradition of using coins as symbols of the nation's identity. The 2018 penny continued that legacy, with billions minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Most of them are worth only their face value, but it is the tiny fraction with pristine condition or rare errors that collectors obsess over and pay extraordinary amounts to own. Condition is always the foundation of value in coin collecting. The majority of 2018 pennies entered circulation immediately after being struck, picked up small scratches, dings, and where that immediately knocked them out of the top grade categories. Only a handful were preserved in such flawless condition that they earned grades like MS-68 or MS-69 from professional grading services. These coins are nearly perfect, with blazing luster, sharp strike details, and virtually no flaws visible even under magnification. It's these elite examples that can command thousands upon thousands of dollars. In fact, high-grade 2018 pennies have proven themselves capable of selling for prices that climb into that incredible range of $34,000 to $93,000 when competition between collectors heats up at auctions. Beyond condition, what makes the 2018 penny so fascinating is the potential for rare minting errors. The minting process, while highly precise, is not immune to mistakes. Sometimes planchets are misfed, causing off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. In other cases, dies can shift during striking, creating dramatic doubling on parts of the design. Double die obverse errors are especially desirable, showing ghost-like doubling in features such as Lincoln's portrait or the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." Coins struck on the wrong planchet, like a dime or nickel blank, are among the rarest and most valuable errors, instantly elevating the penny into a highly prized collector's item. When a 2018 penny with such dramatic errors shows up, the value skyrockets, making it one of the most exciting modern coins to collect. The proof coins from 2018 add another layer of rarity and intrigue. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, proof coins are produced using special dies and polished planchets that give them their mirror-like fields and sharp design contrasts. Collectors love deep cameo proofs where Lincoln's bust stands out in frosted detail against the mirrored background. Finding flawless examples of these proofs graded PR70 is extremely rare, and they command strong premiums on the market. With registry set collectors always competing to have the finest examples of every year, proof 2018 pennies play an important role in driving up interest and value. The year 2018 itself marked a period of heavy penny production, but it also sits at an interesting point in modern numismatic history. Discussions about whether the U.S. should discontinue the penny were ongoing, with arguments that it costs more to produce than its face value. That cultural context adds meaning to owning pennies from this era. They're not just coins, they're potential artifacts of a denomination that may one day vanish. If the penny were ever retired, coins like the 2018 cent would take on added historical significance, further fueling their desirability among collectors. Auction stories provide some of the most exciting evidence of how valuable these coins can be. When an error coin or top-grade 2018 penny is offered at a major numismatic auction, the buzz among collectors is immediate. Bidding often starts modestly but quickly rises as determined collectors drive prices into the tens of thousands. Some auctions have witnessed 2018 pennies reaching those astonishing values of $34,000 to $93,000, proving that modern coins can still surprise the market with massive results. The thrill of those auctions lies not just in the money, but in the recognition of rarity and the competitive passion of the collectors vying for ownership. The beauty of coins like the 2018 penny is that they still turn up in circulation. Stories abound of individuals who stumble across unusual pennies in their pocket change or coin rolls from the bank. A collector might be searching through thousands of coins and suddenly discover a double die or dramatic off-center strike. Another person may notice that their 2018 penny looks unusually pristine and decide to submit it for grading, only to learn that it falls into one of the highest grade categories. For those lucky enough to find one of these hidden gems, the realization that their penny is worth tens of thousands of dollars can be life-changing. What sets the 2018 penny apart is its ability to blur the line between the ordinary and extraordinary. At first glance, it's just a coin most people wouldn't bother to pick up off the sidewalk. But to those who know what to look for, it's a potential treasure. That duality is what makes coin collecting so compelling. The rarity is not obvious. It hides in the details, in the condition, in the quirks of the minting process, and in the persistence of collectors who are willing to keep searching until they find something truly special. The Lincoln cent itself carries a long tradition that adds weight to even the modern issues. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Lincoln's birth, it became the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than a symbolic figure. Over time, it has become one of the most collected coins in the world, with countless varieties, errors, and mintages to discover. The 2018 penny continues that legacy, showing that even coins struck in the billions can produce rare examples worth small fortunes. In the end, the story of the 2018 1-cent penny is about more than money. It's about the thrill of discovery, the appreciation of history, and the reminder that hidden treasures exist in the most unlikely places. Whether it's a collector who has spent years assembling a set or an everyday person who stumbles across an unusual coin in their change, the potential is always there. The next 2018 penny you encounter could be a once-in-a-lifetime find, capable of fetching between $34,000 and $93,000. For collectors, that possibility keeps the hunt alive. Every coin jar, every roll from the bank, every handful of change offers the chance of uncovering something extraordinary. And for those who find it, the reward is not just financial. It's the satisfaction of knowing they've uncovered a hidden gem in the world of modern numismatics. The 2018 penny proves that the magic of coin collecting is still alive, still surprising, and still capable of turning something as ordinary as a penny into a priceless treasure.